Hi, this is Art and Stuff with Tyson. Today we're going to be making a traditional Native American bone bead necklace. This is the pattern we will be using today. We have dual spacer beads. I use two colors on this particular necklace. I will only be using one solid color on the next one, which will be these beads, which are kind of translucent mother of pearl, forest green, purplish looking ones. And you use approximately, I believe, 24 of them per necklace and 6 bone beads per necklace. These ones are custom carved, which is really nice on the eyes. I use the same ones obviously on this one. There is another pattern that I have on hand that I made well over 26 years ago, and it's still holding up. I haven't worn it a whole lot, but it's still holding up. This one I used leather strapping on the end where I tied the knot, and on this end, as I'll be showing later on, you go through, you just poke 2 holes in the end that you're going to be this is the end you'll be starting on, or you could start on this end and weave through the top and then work your way back through the bottom set. That's what I prefer to do, and that's what I will be doing. I'll walk you through each step as we go along. Thanks for watching again. We'll start off with around 1.5 yards of wax sinew. It's not true sinew, so don't be alarmed. Wax sinew works just fine. You will need some super glue for this, unless you're really good at tying knots and you don't want to worry about it, and you know you can trust your knots. Different materials tie knots better. Wax in particular does not. So if you're going to use wax, I would advise you to use super glue to secure your knot. We will need, I personally use a guiding needle. These come with different kits, sinew kits, and they work great for beadwork, for bigger beads especially. Makes quick work of things, picking them up and getting the cord through. First we'll be taking our end as so and going through it. I will be putting the knot on the smooth face of this leather strap. So I will go through the right side of the, I have a pre-marked, pre-cut hole that I'll be going through. And I pull it through and leave about 10 inches of slack. And then we're ready for our first bead. Now this bead is designed to have a face. You can put it on either direction though, but I'm going to start with this being the face, the front face. It'll end, if you want all your beads to end up on the same side, no matter how you put this bead on, make sure that it's always facing the same direction, unless they're multi-sided dual spacer beads. So we'll go one of those, and it'll be 2 beans. I'm using the same color of beads for each one. I just have to count the 2, and then go straight into the bone bead. That one's kind of stiff. I'm going to use the table to pull it through. I need round nose tip pliers for this. Oh, I broke the bead. I should have known that was going to happen. That's what happens when you're impatient. It worked earlier. Not to be alarmed. Be with you in just a second. I do have another one. I'm just going to go ahead and weave these through by hand. straight. I know those other beads fit, so I'm just going to go ahead and put this back through. There we go. We'll do 2 of these on that side. You put the spacer in the middle, facing the same direction, because these ones are two-faced. Two-faced beads. I hope you all enjoy this video. I am trying to kind of rush through it a little bit so you don't feel like it's just dragging on. I hope you don't mind the fast pace. I do believe that most of you are fully capable of keeping up with me. Don't forget the metal spacer on that one. Gotta do a check. Every now and then gotta check. Clear the bench way. Line up all the beads. We need a spacer. Two more beads. I'm kind of talking about what I'm doing as I do it. And I don't know if you can see very well, but these are all facing, pointing out with the loop, the curve up. Now we'll be doing our last set of 2 on the end with the last double spacer bead, and then we'll be putting on the leather strap. Now we want this to go, we want the cord to end up looping through the back, the smooth side. So we're gonna go, I believe it will be through this side right here. Now if I make a mistake, don't be mad at me. I'm not trying to waste your time. This just gets me tripped up sometimes, so you gotta put it on there sometimes. Yep, we did it right. Then you go through the other side. Now if you got leather straps that you cut to size and they for some reason are smooth on both sides or rough on both sides, that's even better, because you just gotta make sure that you go through one side and back out the other and over. It's kind of like you'll see what I mean. You don't want it to look like it's twisted and mangled at the end. There is a pattern to the madness, and I believe that you can figure it out. When you get the close up of this, when I'm done, you'll be able to tell a little bit better from what I was showing you in the very beginning. Yeah. Now we're working our way back. That's too bad about that bead I broke. Now I could probably glue it back together and it would hold up just fine. Nobody would probably ever know. Now we gotta share the double spacer bead. Back to that. Small bead. Double bone bead. We're making progress. Now we gotta go to the shared bead. See, this needle makes it so much easier. I advise you, when you buy some cord, buy a good needle. And, you know, that makes everything different. That changes everything. Everything will be better. Even with small beads, the only problem with small beads is the smaller you go, the harder it is to use needles. And you have to be pretty darn savvy to run that cord through the small beads, you know. It's really difficult. And we're almost done. We're probably about 3 minutes away from being done. We'll be gluing in no time. Tying knots. And we're going through the last double spacer bead here. If I can get it through. We'll be pulling off the slack. Now, as you can see here, this went through the right side there, the top side of the fur. So this side, the opposite opposing side, is going to do the same thing on the other side of that split. And I put splits in mine. You don't have to. You can cut them with like an oblong shape at the end. I choose not to do that because it's an extra step that you really don't need. This has gotten twisted somehow. It's alright. We'll get it out. Now I'm going to take the needle off. Tighten that up. I flip it over to the other side. Get to the back side while I'm looking at it from the back side. Clip both of these to roughly the same length. And then tie a knot. I use that needle to pull the knot down, as you can see. Gets it down there because it's wax. Gets it real good and tight. Then you pull that needle out and tighten it. See how tight that is? But then I do one more knot. You can do 2 or 3. You can even do 1, but the more knots you got, the more likely it's going to hold together. More than 2 just looks a little bit too bulky, and kind of makes the necklace look. See it? That's the second knot going on. You basically just push down with your nails, and then you can see how that's on there. It's on the inside, the smooth side, and then it's kind of hidden. So this will be the front. You see the loop? It's real tight too. It's real tight. Actually, I might have made it too tight. You just got to pull on it back and forth a little bit. Wiggle woggle it. Wiggle woggle. Sounds like something you hear off a cartoon. Now, get our super glue. Pull this down. Pull this up like that. Get yourself just any little bit of slack you can. And then you take this glue. It's kind of hard to focus, but you just put a dot on there, and this stuff absorbs into that wax and that. You just put a little drop on there, and then when you go to set it down real careful so it doesn't touch the leather, because you don't want that to be stiff on that leather, and it'll kind of put a little kink in there and make it chafe on your neck as you wear it. And so you let that dry for about an hour. Just leave it set and come back, and should be good to go. Anyways, you could check it too, obviously, just give it a little finger touch. Just barely touch it though, otherwise you'll find that you might knock it out of place and then you got a problem. So don't do that. And You know, you can watch my previous video on this playlist. Traditional Native American necklace, handcrafted. It was this one I built right here. And that was a fun build. I built this for a friend, and this one right here I'm building for myself. I'm glad that I had the extra beads to do it. And I usually pick up my beads at thrift stores and just recycle them and upscale them, and sometimes I'll buy new ones if I need, like these spacer beads I got off of Amazon. These ones, you know, these smaller plastic ones, you know, you can find those at just about any craft store for real cheap. Get about 1,000 of them for $2. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Art stuff with Tyson. Thanks for watching. We're back here a few minutes later. It's still just a little bit sticky. You see that? But as long as I don't let that touch the leather, it should be good. It should finish drying. You can kind of touch it a little bit to kind of help it get rid of that excess amount that's just around the outside. Try not to touch the leather with that though. I just come back and get as close to the knot as I can and clip it. You can kind of round it off a little bit and keep the leather from, see, as long as the leather is still twisting around it, that means it's in good shape. But as you see, those two straps, this being the front, see how that knot will be hidden. That's what you want. That's how you want it to end up. So with a little bit of planning, it'll turn out just the way it looks here. And you know, trial and error. If you mess up and you build it wrong, just restart. Don't be afraid to restart and try again. I had to do this a few times before I got the hang of it. I was taught how to do it right the first time, and I still forgot over the years how to do it, so I had to reference off my original necklace the first time I did this again. So don't be intimidated to try. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching again. Bye.